right, all right. Let's get this party started right now. Let me go here and get that. It's good seeing everybody in the house for emotional, physical fitness. We got everybody. Look at everybody is up in here today. We got A Lady, we got Gemini, we got Spicy, we got Creative Solutions. We have Monica in the house. We have Michael in the house. We have more people coming in, and of course, we have everybody up in the clouds. So let's see here. Let me stop this. We're gonna go to this, play a little bit.
And I know when you're in the shower and your husband is sitting on the couch on his phone, your toddler is going to be banging on the door for you to open the fruit snack. I am giving you permission to be so extremely selfish in those early days. Breastfeed and then hand the baby right back. Don't change a diaper. Don't try to soothe the baby when he's crying. Pass to your husband. Pretend like you're the dad for once, because society is going to knock you right back.
Hold on. My bad. Okay, here we go.
Feels like being in a never-ending fight with your feelings, and your feelings is beating the shit out of you. Like, your feelings got hands. Healing doesn't look like smoking or drinking until the pain goes away, because that pain ain't going nowhere. Healing don't look like distracting yourself with sex or other people. Healing looks like sitting in a dark room and crying and punching the fucking pillow and asking yourself real ass questions that only you can answer, like, why are you crying? Because I'm hurt. Why are you hurt? Because I never expected that from this person, and I gave this person a lot of love, and I didn't expect to be feeling like this after loving this person. I'm bitter. Why are you bitter? I'm bitter because it feel like that person don't even care. It feel like that person just going on with their life, and I'm the one sitting up here broken. I'm resentful. Why are you resentful? I'm resentful because I should have never even gave that person time of day. Like, out of all the people in the world you could have came and fucked with, you came and fucked with me, and I let you in just to be fucking heartbroken at the end of it. That is why I'm resentful, because who is going to judge you for answering them questions for yourself? And then once we start answering those questions, then we can start the process of healing. I talk about shit all the time, and people say, you sound hurt, and they use it as a way to insult me. But little do they know, you cannot use the same pain that I've healed from to hurt me. Those wounds don't even open anymore. There are people in this world that would rather walk around hurt than healed, because that is how hard the healing process is. But once you heal, baby, you open up a new version of yourself that's unfuckwittable. That's not even a word. Can't nobody fuck with you once you've done that. So you're not ready to heal today? Okay. You're not ready to heal tomorrow? That's fine. But please don't be one of those people that never heal, because we can see it. We can see it in the way that you walk, talk, and move. We can see it. Okay. And people got mad at me for using the word weak, so I won't use weak today. I'll say broken. But the best thing about being broken is you can fix yourself. When you're ready, I'll be here.
All right. Any thoughts? Welcome to the stage, Creative.
Nah, she broke it down. There's so many people I see walk around all hurt, and you can tell because they're always stuck up. They don't know how to socialize with people. They stay to themselves. They always got this angry face. And anytime you ask them a question, they just look at you or they ignore you. I don't know.
Makes a lot of sense. Let's go to the next one.
Women wonder why all the time. Where did men get this?
Wait. Before I get to the next one, shout out to Heathen Queen. Saturn and Bell in the house. Monica's in the house. Prism, welcome. It's good seeing you, Prism. Let's keep it going.
Women wonder why all the time. Where did men get this idea that they could just disrespect the out of us? You know why? It's just because trial and error. Like, we've been doing it to y'all, and then there's this there's this toxic level of forgiveness, toxic understanding, toxic maybe not stupidity, but this weakness for men
not holding true to your boundaries, like he said.
Yeah. But where it ultimately hurts the forgivee is that you only he's been him. He's a constant. You're on this emotional roller coaster that eventually you might fall out of because of this habit that you created on your own, enforced on your own, did not dissuade the other person from getting into on your own.
So I don't feel like that's
So-
toxic at all. I think that's how you implement growth.
All right. What do you guys think about toxic level of forgiveness? What's your thoughts on this?
No, that's true. This is what happening now. A lot of a lot of women in the past, a lot of men have ran game on a lot of women, cheated on them, manipulated them, used them, did all of these things, and you have your daughters watching, and you have other people watching. So, what do you think is going to happen?
Right. Right. Exactly. I mean, you have to protect not only yourself but the loved ones around you. Just because somebody is they see the abuse happening to you, and you don't realize that it's hurting them as well. So if you overly forgive or you toxically forgive, um, it could cause some problems because they feel like that's the benchmark, the baseline of what they should take.
Yes, yes.
Before we move on, the key thing that's hard to swallow is that toxic level of forgiveness, because people think of forgiveness in terms of something that's healthy, healing, and whole. When forgiveness is for you, I wouldn't necessarily say toxic level of forgiveness as opposed to allowing yourself to be re-injured multiple times, because forgiveness is for you to release and let go. And I don't believe that you're actually forgiving the toxicity of a person when you're continuously being re-injured. So in terms of that, it's not really forgiveness, it's acceptance of a behavior that's toxic, and you're giving yourself and that person, you're giving yourself permission to accept it, and you're giving that person permission to continuously do it to you in the guise of forgiveness. Does that make sense?
Yep, it does.
And so we have to take ownership. The person who is being injured, we have to take ownership of what we're allowing and the consistency of what we're allowing. And part of what I believe that was said was that we aren't setting, we may think we're setting boundaries, but you can't be setting boundaries if you're allowing them to be continuously crossed. So if you, just like we talk about building borders, so our borders right now aren't secure. So essentially, when you're doing this, it's like having unsecure borders. So people are crawling over in the thousands. So you're being re-injured in the thousands until you secure your border and you stand firm on that and you secure it with force. So you're not allowing this to re-injure you, because what people fail to understand is you can never be whole again until you disallow the behavior. And that's why people become so fractured and so fragmented and unable to move forward into a new relationship, and why they carry baggage into the old, because they've been so fractured, and it's hard to build a whole out of something that's been decimated. When you think about shattering a vase, I mean, completely shattering it on a tile floor and trying to glue it back together, there's going to be there's cracks. Whether you glue it together perfectly or not, there's cracks, and that vessel will never be the same again. And so it's up to you to pick up those pieces to seal it as best you can and secure it before you move forward.
Why do people gaslight others? And this is for Brittany. What you think?
I feel like a lot of it has to do with control. And some of that control may even be based in fear, right? I don't want to lose this person. And so when I do things that are wrong, or I need the person to act in a way that favors or benefits me,
Right.
I have to somehow try to control this narrative. And that's why, like, when it comes to people who are abusers, it's not just the one-time thing. There are always, like he said, sowing different seeds of doubt across the course of the relationship. And it's because when I do this, when I gaslight you, it's just one more way to keep you under my thumb, to keep
That's
you
very
under
good.
me, and for you to seek me out
Love that.
when it comes to decisions that you make, when it comes to your feelings. So now I'm completely dependent on you, and that's all an abuser wants.
That's great.
All right. Shout out to Jen J in the house, Heathen Queen in the house, Monica in the house, A Lady in the house, Prism in the house, Monica in the house. We're going to keep this rolling.
I have been talking about some manipulation tactics that males use to control women or lower their self-esteem in relationships instead of just being decent human beings that are vulnerable and do give and take and try to produce relationships that are beneficial to both people. Anyways, let's talk about negging. I found a Reddit thread where a woman was talking about her experiences with negging. She says, "A month ago, I began dating a man. Something interesting about him is that I have noticed him negging me. For those of you who aren't familiar with what negging is basically a form of manipulation or emotional abuse. The negger attempts to lower your self-esteem by using backhanded compliments and jokes at the expense of the person. Example 1. I was drinking water and spilled. He said he thought I'd gone to college and knew how to drink water. Example 2. Over dinner, he joked about being 2 levels above me and me needing to prove myself. And then he said, just kidding. Example number 3. On a hike, I got my period, which stained my pants. He then said his ex used to be really good with hygiene. So that is her example. Then I went to the Google and I found another definition to share with y'all. Negging, covertly insulting someone perceived to be out of your league with the intention of making her doubt herself and take her down a peg or two to be more receptive to your advances, used by both pickup artists and malignant narcissists to get attention they would not otherwise receive. So instead of just complimenting a woman, being genuinely decent, having good rapport and building something, they have to lower your self-esteem. So that is the definition. So some of the comments on this particular Reddit thread sounds immature. Break it off. This guy is hoping to break you down and make you feel like you don't deserve good treatment so he can do as little as possible in contributing to a relationship. That is the tame version. The worst one is that he's prepping you to accept abuse. Yes. So if you get used to little barbs, then as he adds bigger barbs, you'll just be kind of used to it. So he's testing the water. Okay, this comment. Agreed, the first alone I'd have taken as a joke. I've had family and made my own jokes about having the hole in your lip under similar circumstances. The other two, this makes for a pattern and not a good one. And then the next comment says, yeah, the last one is especially shitty. Comparing to an ex is just in a shitty way. Staining your pants when on your period can be so embarrassing. Yes, this person in particular just wants to embarrass you, take your self-esteem down. And this is just a manipulation tactic that women really, really need to look out for. So this is my example. Y'all jump in. Tell me what you think.
Tell me what you think.
Oh my gosh, that's been I think about the relationships I've had, and these guys will actually tell me, they'd be like, "Oh, I got to take you down a peg or two because I don't want you to get so big in your head No, I don't want you to walk around here with a big head. I gotta take you down. And I'm like, what? And then, as you get a little bit older and you understand the relationship and the dynamics, you turn around and then you look and you say, like, what good memories has this person done? Like, what good things has he done? What good things has he said? And you sit there and you reevaluate the whole thing, and you seen that it was just a manipulation tactic.
That makes a lot of sense. Let's go to the next video. Somebody, you might know this person.
Oh my God.
To my channel. This is Creative Solutions. So come on in. I have another video for you. And today I want to talk about how these spaces are trying to steal your mind. And this is very important because after being in these spaces for a while, I seen a lot of people who were stuck in these spaces for years upon years, and they haven't had any breakthroughs. Nothing has changed in their lives. So I think it's really important to speak on this. And the first and foremost, I want to talk about, like, what are these spaces doing to you? So first and foremost,
All right, Camo's in the house. Camo, welcome.
when you're in spaces that are not meant for you, they trigger you, they bring up feelings, or they bring up trauma that has not been healed, or they bring up reoccurrences that happened in your childhood, and you are probably unaware of those things because these feelings that you're feeling when you go into these spaces that trigger you, these feelings feel kind of normal. They feel like something that you're used to, and you're kind of like, it almost feels like family. Like, I'm used to feeling this way. I remember this feeling. My mind and my body remember these emotions, and in a way you kind of get hooked. In some cases it could become a drug. In some cases you don't know how to let it go. And in some cases, every day you just tune in for more and more, and this can become very detrimental. And I'm going to explain it to you on two different levels. On number one, on the body level, right? So just think about, you're watching these spaces, right? And I'm going to just give an example. Let's say you go into a space and they're talking about a specific demographic of people, and they're talking about how bad they are, the things that they do, and what are their outcomes, and how they're stereotyped, and all of these craziness, right? And you take that in, you internalize those feelings. So your stomach gets unsettled. You kind of feel sick. I want to say, I mean, your stomach, you kind of feel sick. You get triggered. You feel it in your brain. Your body feels it. So, in a way, your body becomes into a stress mode, right? Stress, fight or flight, or you become depressed. You're constantly in this mode where your body is always stressed. It always has to fight, defend itself. It's trying to figure something out, right? And think about, people are in these spaces months and days, and think about what it's doing to their body. Your cells are listening to this. Your cells are listening, and are vibrating the way that you're vibrating. And you're vibrating on a very low level because you're taking in all of those beliefs that people are saying on the internet, and you're internalizing it. And that has really, really bad effects on your body. Your body is struggling to heal itself. Your body is struggling to get nutrients to all of the members, all of the cells, all of the organs. Your body is struggling. And if you're not eating well and you're not exercising, you're not going outside to get sunlight, oh my God, you are shortening your lifespan. And I don't know if anybody told you that, but I'm here to tell you. So there you go. Thank you. You are very
All right. So creative. What made you release this video? And this is very good information. It's actually everyone in this room should be listening closely because we are in these streets.
Okay, so what made me release this video? Because I was looking at the people who I've had stumbled on in these places, and and some other big YouTubers. You can say MTR. He has had cancer at one point. Not, I want to say it was like you guys know about his whole testicle situation.
Well, he said
That
he had cancer. I haven't seen any proof. I have heard people say he didn't really have it, and then some people say he
he didn't really
did.
have it. They had to remove like one of his testicles, so he only has one. He dropped the whole video. It was a big
Oh,
thing.
okay. Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Not only that, you see, have other people have passed away at a very young age, at like 50s, 60s, early 50s. They've passed away. And I know a lot of women who have, because yeah, allegedly, I know a lot of women who have been stuck in these spaces and it hasn't really done nothing for them. It's just bad, and then when people talk about these stories, it's just like, I don't even want to hear it anymore. It's just like. So I just think that it has to be said because I think a lot of our youth, they're tuning in and watching this. People who are in their 40s and 50s are watching this. So I think it needed to be said because we need to understand that we're taking in things in our brain and it's a portal.
Yeah, I agree. I couldn't agree more, in fact. Let me see what else I got here. Right here.
When that woman emotionally checks out, she's done. It ain't no coming back from that. Oftentimes, a woman emotionally checks out of a relationship because you never emotionally truly checked in. She's been begging you for months. I need emotional intelligence in this relationship. I need you to acknowledge my emotions. And how many times have you minimized her emotions? Men say, well, I'm logical. I'm thinking with my logic. All those emotions you got, all those feelings you got, you dismiss a woman's emotions in a relationship, then wonder why she emotionally checked out of it. When she stopped caring, what the you doing? That shit is over. So if you love her, I do not want you to push that woman to the line of emotionally checking out of that relationship. Yes, I know, brothers, you do emotionally care for her. How does she know if you don't speak the emotional language in which the relationship needs to flourish? Don't be surprised when she emotionally checks out. And when she checks out emotionally, the shit is over. So if you don't want that to happen, make sure you invest in emotionally. The last thing you want to do is lose somebody you had emotions for simply because you refuse to display them in the relationship. When that woman emotionally checks out, she's
All right. I mean, that makes sense to me.
Yes, I think everybody should take notes. If somebody stops arguing, stops voicing their opinion after a while, after telling you for so long, and they just be quiet and you don't hear a bleep out of them, that basically is telling you, like, you might think that, oh my, she ain't say nothing. Like, what's going on? She doesn't care. She checked out. She's focusing on something totally different.
Exactly. I dropped a link just in case anyone else would like to come up and ask questions. We're about to go into um, our fitness part of our emotional fitness live for today. But at the same time, I'd like to see if there's any questions that want to be asked about the information that we've shown you so far, and or if you have any comments or anything you would like to add. Links in the chat if you want to do it verbally, or you can just send a message, and we will, you know, excuse me. Come on.
I was gonna say something in the chat. Somebody was talking about So the person who I was talking about who had the cancer was MTR.
Okay.
And if you guys scroll down to his past videos, he has a video on there where he had to have surgery, and it was like a whole big thing, and a lot of people addressed it and made videos about it. But this happened a while ago.
Yeah, it's just kind of weird because he went from, you know, a life-changing experience to bashing black women. It just I don't see how that, usually when people go through something like that, they appreciate and they love life and they love everybody in it, you know what I mean? So, I guess I'm just extremely disappointed.
Yeah, me too. I would think the same thing, and he's so young.
Yeah.
He is very young, and I don't even know what to say to that.
Yeah. Pri Prism says, "Emotional and intellectual compatibility is important." Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, if if it's just the way things are. I mean, if somebody's not gonna intellectually stimulate you in your relationship, you're going to get bored sooner or later. Absolutely that. All right. So let's go to the next phase. Okay.
It goes on and on and on. Don't stop. Remind me of everything tonight. Yes, I'm in the zone. Girl, you stood I get repeating. Dreaming about the things that we could be. So it's gonna be forever. You already know. That's what kill me when I'm in the spot. Don't believe me, just watch. It goes on and on and on. Don't stop. Remind me of everything tonight. Yes, I'm in the zone. Girl, you stood I get repeating. Dreaming about the things that we could be. So it's gonna be forever. You already know. That's what kill me when I'm in the spot. Don't believe me, just watch.
100 pounds gone. You saw the results for y'all. Just in case you're thinking that's a one-off, let's do this again.
If no one invests in you, invest in yourself. If no one believes in you, believe in yourself. Even if keep showing up. If no one invests in you, invest in yourself. If no one believes in you, believe in yourself.
I mean, those are some excellent transformations right there. It's not just about, getting in looking better or per se for, as far as the world is concerned, but it's your body works better. Your body you will enjoy life more because your body's not working as hard as it was when you were heavier to perform. And what I mean is breathe, just really regular basics, breathing and walking and running. See, when you're able to do those things, it's almost like going on a vacation every day. It's just a it's just a good feeling. So um it's very important that you do keep yourself mentally and physically fit. And believe it or not, working out helps your emotional health as well. Working out, getting it helps you so much. You just won't believe it. Chemicals work better in your body. And that's half the battle. Just physically, people that's why stress is such a bad thing to have. As Creative explained, it affects your body. And the same thing with this is that when you work out, it helps your body battle stress. So, I mean, those are just that's just a little bit of two cents I want to put in. Creative, what are your thoughts? She's probably grabbing a bite to eat. How about you,
I mean,
Gemini? What do you think?
I think it's great. I think these women they put in the hard work, and it is hard when you get to a certain point. It's hard to come back, but if you get the right motivation, which is for yourself, to do it for yourself, not for anybody else, but to do it for yourself.
Absolutely.
I'll say one thing. I remember one time when I was working out. I think I forgot, but anyway, it was like a couple of years ago. I think I had just gave birth, and I was working out. I changed my diet, and I started listening to positive affirmations and stuff. And at the time, I think I wanted to get some orders to come. When I say orders, I mean I was in the Navy. I was trying to pick up my next duty station, and I wanted to go to this duty station because I wanted to go for shore duty so I could relax and I could get off early, and that's what I wanted. And I kept saying that, and I was being positive, and I was working out consistently, like 3 or 4 or 5 times a week, and I actually manifested that. So
Yeah,
if you're working out, staying positive, you could attract wonders in your life.
that makes absolute sense. All right. Now the physical. So let me ask you this, creative. For somebody who would be starting off in their fitness journey, or they're trying to lose, you know, weight and get healthier, what would be your top 5 things they should do and your top 5 vitamins they should get or nutrients of any type?
Okay, so if somebody's first starting off in their fitness journey, don't be hard on yourself. I think the easiest thing you can do is walk at an incline on a machine, or if you don't have a machine, walk up a hill at an incline at the fastest rate that you can. That really helps burn calories. So you can do that. Walking really does work. If you walk for 30 minutes a day, you'll see wonders. Drinking lots of water, and those ankle bracelets. I want to say ankle bracelets, but those ankle weights, they work too. You walk with those also. Some people have what is it called? The vest, like the heavyweight vest that you can walk with that too. I would say, yeah, drinking lots of water, changing your diet. I think the fastest way I lost my weight was changing my diet. Changing my diet like really helped me a lot. Changing my diet, drinking lots of water, and incorporating fruits and vegetables, and eliminating like bread, all of those heavy starches. I mean, you can have starches, but not so much. And having a variety, that really helped me. And as far as the vitamins and minerals goes, I vouch for Vitamin Mineral Green. Number one, I would highly suggest you take that. Vitamin Mineral Green. I have it on my
Okay.
website. It's not really cheap, but it's good it's at a decent price, and it actually really works. They have it in the powder formula, and they have it in the pills. So right now I'm taking the pills, and so yeah, I would say that. Doing some breath work. I'm trying to see what other vitamins. I would say taking a little bit of coconut oil every day does help you too. And I have a lot of vitamins, right, on my channel. For overall mood, to make you feel better, um, Ethereum Gold. I have that. I finished the whole bottle. That is something that I need to order that's on demand. Ethereum Gold. That right there
Okay.
helps you stay focused.
That sounds good.
Yeah. So hopefully you guys could pick 1 or 2 things, but the Vitamin Mineral Green, that one, that will change everything in your body. That will help your flora, bacteria, and everything. It will make you go to the bathroom. It will really, give you a good shift.
You said
Okay.
shift.
I
I'm for
like that.
real. That would shift you. I was taking that, and my mood changed, and my whole body felt better. I started eating different food. I wasn't as hungry as I was. And I think Torch mentioned this too. If you eat a lots of fiber in your diet, that really helps. And
Yes.
fiber could be anything as far as popcorn. I know grapefruit, believe it or not, has a lot of fiber in it. A lot of food content, they have fiber in it also. It helps, cleans you out. But yeah, just think about your body. Whatever you put in is what you get back out. So
That is so true. I just dropped a link to Creative's channel. So if you have any questions or need any help, feel free to go to her for vitamins and health questions. Let us.
You swear by L-carnitine, don't you, DJ?
Oh, I love L-carnitine.
Why?
More so for my brain because I forget things. But I like the way it also assists in burning body fat, especially when you're. See, I told you I was going to forget something. When you're fasting, it's a great help. It helps burn your body fat a little bit more than maybe you would without it. I'm not saying it's going to be a night and day difference, but just it maximizes your body's ability to burn and metabolize fat. That's what L-carnitine does for you. It also can help against um, um, helping your mind, your brain perform better. It allows more nutrients to get into your past your brain barrier, so that um, you will forget less and you will be more calm. So it's an excellent thing to use along with a lot of the items that Creative mentioned. But let me make it clear: there's nothing more important than eating healthy. That has made the biggest difference in my life.
So before you move on, give us like a general what I eat in a day.
Uh, for me, I'll have. Well, I fast until 2, and then I'll have breakfast for basically lunch. I have breakfast for lunch, which is believe it or not, 3 whole eggs. I know the
Well,
cholesterol is kind of high, but some people, they metabolize cholesterol quite well, so it's not a problem. But I'll have 3 eggs. I'll have with those eggs, I'll have, even believe it or not, a little bit of cheese because I'm using the keto style. And then I'm using a very, very, very small portion of toast, which is very cut in half. And as long as I keep into ketosis or keep burning fat, I'm good. Prism, you nailed it. Intermittent fasting. I do what they call the 16-8 version of it, which is 16 hours of fasting and 8 hours of consuming as much food as possible. There are some complications with that, however. And then one complication is, can you eat? And believe it or not, you will lose weight. But the main thing is, can you eat enough in that 8 hour to allow you to get enough nutrients to your body? Because it's not just about eating less calories. Because that's the great thing about fasting, is that it helps you reduce the amount of calories you eat. But you have to make sure you're getting enough protein and vitamins. So some supplementation might need to be used when you do this 16-8. So that is one major thing. You don't have to use keto along with fasting. You can use fasting by itself or keto by itself. You can have keto breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The main goal, though, you have to remember, though, The main goal is you have to make sure that if you're trying to lose body fat, your body has to be at a caloric deficit. If it's not, and a caloric deficit doesn't necessarily have to mean you have to eat a lot less, but what it means is that you're burning more calories than you're consuming. So you could go out, go for a 1 hour run, that could be about 500 or 600 calories in itself. And believe it or not, as long as you're not eating too many calories, you could eat almost the same way you were eating before and lose body fat because you introduced a calorie deficit by introducing exercise. Now, it's usually best to do both at the same time. It really depends on what your goals are. If you're trying to lose, let's say, massive amounts of body fat, you will probably want to do both because it makes it easier because you're not forced to run for, run 3 hours a day to get to the caloric deficit you're looking at. Nor do you have to starve yourself, by if you're not working out. It's the key is really, quite honestly, you're not going to get around the workout. You're not getting around that regardless because you need the workout to make your body healthier and operate better so you burn more body fat. It makes your fitness journey. You have to look at you can't really look at it just a weight loss journey. You want to look at a fitness journey. And let's say you go on a fitness journey, but you don't lose weight at the speed you want to or very little. You're still healthier. You're still healthier because you have been working out. Your body appreciates you, even though nobody sees it. And then when you start getting the results, then everybody sees it, and you're as fit as you look. So, if anybody had any questions about that, let's wait for a minute. I think Ethan Queen was about to come up, so if you can, please do come back up. I'm gonna put the link in the chat again. Even if you're to ask questions, don't be bashful. You can come in here just to ask questions if you want. Sometimes a lot of people, they operate better when they're verbally interacting when it comes to learning new things or getting a strategy together for their life.
A few people pointed out, Jen J, I think, brought it up first about sleep being important. And Prism chimed in and said a healthy sleep schedule is important. And then Jen came back and said it was a game changer for her. I was dismissive about it for a while. When I took my sleep pattern seriously, I saw improvements in my overall wellness.
Well said. I mean, I know it makes a big difference for me. If I don't get enough sleep, unfortunately for me, I start getting a headache. It just, for me, that is true. I'm headache. Whatever getting a headache easy is, that's what it is. It's not like I'm getting there. It's not like they are. I'm saying I get migraines, but my head feels heavy, and I don't feel like operating at the level I want to operate at. So sleep is very important. At the very least, 6 hours. If you're 8 hours is optimal, and 9 hours, it can't hurt. So definitely.
You said breakfast at lunch, and really breakfast is literally breaking a fast. So whenever you break your fast, is breakfast, no matter what you eat.
Yeah, that is so true. Break fast, yeah, exactly that. All right, here we go.
How's it going, my gymless friends? I got another no equipment video for you here.
We're doing this because with this information you're about to get, you can get started right now. No gym memberships needed. You can use your body weight within and other things around the house. Here we go.
Right, so I've been doing a lot of isometric exercises. And for those of you who don't know what isometrics are, that's when you hold muscle contractions without moving any joints. So you're essentially just holding a static position and counting seconds instead of reps. In this video, I'm going to show you 20 isometric exercises that are approachable for just about anyone. They require no equipment, and collectively they work the entire body. All right, so we're going to start with lower body and then work up to core and then upper body. All right, let's get started with the wall sit. In order to do a wall sit, start off with your heels, your butt, your upper back, and your head flat against a wall, and then step your feet out one big step away from the wall. Make sure your toes are pointed about 45 degrees outward and are roughly shoulder width apart. Then slide down the wall like I just did until your thighs are about parallel to the floor. At this point, you're just going to hold the position, and you should feel a nice muscle contraction in the quadriceps on the front or top of the thighs, as well as in the glutes. Hold this position for as long as you can, making sure to continue breathing. All right, that's important. A lot of times in isometric exercises, we forget to breathe. We hold our breath. You don't want to do that. On all the exercises I show you in this video, make sure you continue breathing.
That wall sit is no joke.
No.
And some of the exercises will probably look so easy, but we use a lot of isometric exercises in the military, and some of them are like that wall sit. It can be very challenging depending on how long you do it for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe it'll start burning. You will start feeling a burn.
If you can't stand up at the end, what you can do is lean forward, and that will decrease the resistance, and then you can stand up out of the squat. The sumo squat
Or you
is...
can just slide to the floor and lie down.
No,
This is something.
no, you can't.
This is something like yoga in a way.
Yeah, it's probably a variation of yoga, I would say. Tiff says this, jump rope. That's what I do if I want to lose weight fast. Yes, it does. Jump rope is off the chain. Jump rope. Believe it or not, I am a strong proponent of using body weight exercising to get in shape. I am a former bodybuilder who actually won some, did great. I came in first and second in several bodybuilding championships and stuff. Not championships, but competitions, because I didn't do it a whole lot. But I guess my point is that you would think that by now, then I would only be a stickler for lifting weights than I am. I actually know I get more out of doing walking lunges in the park than I do doing squats or something at a crowded gym with a lot of sweaty, people and stuff like that. So any way you can challenge your body is a good way.
Is exercise number 2. And in order to do this isometrically, you want to stand with your feet greater than shoulder width apart, toes pointed about 45 degrees outwards, and then you're going to just sink down into a squat. And this is going to resemble something like horse stance in martial arts. What I like to do here is dig my heels into the ground as well as the outside edges of my feet. And what that does is it really activates the hip abductors, the muscles on the outside of your thighs. Remember to continue breathing, and if you don't save enough gas in the tank to simply stand up out of this position like I'm doing right here, that's the ideal way to get out of it. What you can do instead, if you can't stand up because your muscles are too exhausted, is you can drop your hands down to the floor and then just come down to a kneeling position.
Welcome, The Truth. Welcome, Tiff. Welcome, Andre. Welcome, Monica. Good to see y'all. Let's keep it rolling.
And the third exercise is the static calf raise. And this is a really simple one. You just stand up on your tippy toes. But honestly, it's not putting the weight on your toes. You're actually putting the weight on the balls of your feet, which is the padding just below the toes. Holding this position contracts the muscles of the calves, and to come out of it, you simply put your heels down on the floor.
Let me tell you something. This is very important. You need to do calf exercises. I tell you why. Because especially when you get older, you need to make sure that your muscles and muscles and the joints and everything down there are worked so that you can live an extended life. Because remember, there's not just muscles and joints down there. There are veins, there are arteries down there that need extra blood flow. And if you don't work those muscles, the blood flow will slightly reduce, believe it or not, and it's not a good thing. It's just a little trouble I had back in the day, which is 10 years ago, I guess. After I started exercising, working out, and working my calves and working my legs, my blood pressure dropped. So you can do the same as well.
One thing I wanted to mention with the calf raises, if you really want to build your calves, you can do the duck with your feet out like a duck and then inward, because it works both sides of your calves.
That's true. Angle them out, and then you can. There's a couple of things you can do. You can angle them out, and then do your calf raisers, and then angle them in. And please excuse me for not knowing the scientific name of the calf heads, but there's 2 of them at least. There might be 3, because I think there's one at the insertion at the base of the knee as well. But it's very helpful, and it's very good for keeping your balance.
Exercise number 4 is a static lunge. Take a large step forward with your front leg flat on the floor. Knee should be bent to about 90 degrees, and your rear leg is up on the ball of the foot or the toes. Notice that the knee of my front leg does not surpass the toes of the front leg. That's important so you don't put unnecessary strain on the knee joint. And of course, this is a unilateral exercise, so make sure you do the opposite leg forward as well.
Let me stop right here. The Truth has a question. What are they called, Gemini? Duck calf raises?
Well, I called it that because that's the easiest to remember when you're pointing your feet outward. But then you have the inflection when you're pointing your toes like the pigeon style. So you can think of it as pigeon and duck.
So, to call it the 2-bird calf workout.
Yeah, the 2-bird calf raises. So the pigeon and the duck.
For the next exercise, we're going to need a sturdy object like a chair that we can lean on, and we're going to target the hamstrings here doing a hamstring curl. So lean on the chair about 1 foot in front of a wall, and then curl your leg backwards by bending at the knee so your heel is against the wall. I'm performing a hamstring curl here by pressing my heel into the wall like I'm trying to push the wall away from me, but also like I'm trying to push it upwards. After holding that for the max amount of time, make sure you switch legs and do the other leg as well, because like others, this is a unilateral exercise. And this next one has kind of a strange name. It's called Active Beast. And that's because it stems from Animal Flow. So a lot of the moves and positions are named after animals or animal-related things. Regardless, this is an extremely powerful yet simple isometric exercise, so I want you to try this position. Notice that I'm on my toes, all right? I don't have the tops of my feet flat on the floor, and I'm also kneeling here. What we're going to do is come down onto all fours in this position. Palms flat on the floor, directly beneath the shoulders.
The way he was, go back a couple of seconds to the position he was in. When you're in this position, another exercise you could do is sit back on your feet and raise up and sit back and raise up. That's another isometric you can do with no weights, and it's for your glutes.
Positions are named after animals or animal-related things. Regardless, this is an extremely powerful yet simple isometric exercise, so I want you to try this position. Notice that I'm on my toes, all right? I don't have the tops of my feet flat on the floor, and I'm also kneeling here. What we're going to do is come down onto all fours in this position. Palms flat on the floor, directly beneath the shoulders. Your hips should be directly above your knees. And what you want to do here, if you watch carefully, I'm about to lift my knees just off the floor, maybe 1 inch or so, not very far. It only takes a little bit, and what this does is it requires activation of the entire anterior core, as well as you're going to have to push hard into the floor to protract your scapula. This exercise is great for building strength and stability in the prone position, so I highly recommend it. Next, we're going to look at an oldie but a goodie. All right, this is a classic isometric exercise. Come down onto your elbows and forearms, and then come up onto your toes by raising the hips. Contract the abs, actually the entire core, the glutes, and the thighs to keep your body straight. Press down into the floor with your elbows and forearms to protract your scapula. That means your shoulder blades should be moving apart. And here you are doing what's called the forearm plank. This is a very popular exercise in fitness, and for a good reason, because it's almost working your entire body. Next, we're going to look at the side plank to target the obliques and hip abductors. So we're going to have one hand on our top thigh here as we lay on our side, as well as the other hand flat on the floor with the elbow.
I'm going to pause it right here. Are there any questions on the panel or comments on the panel? And if not, any questions in the chat?
No.
All right. All right. We're going to stop it right here. We're going to keep it to an hour because I want to make it easy for everyone to find the information. Not only that, but remember, let me drop Creative's information in the chat again. If there's anything we missed, feel free to give her a holler. Okay. If that's okay with you, Creative.
No, that's fine.
Okay. And or comment in the chat. Definitely comment, leave a comment with Creative or us. And we like to thank everybody for coming through. We will be back next Sunday doing the same thing. They will be very short sessions like this again, because we want to make sure that we condense a lot of information in a small piece of time. So you're not sitting on here for 45 days going through our 4-hour live. So anyway, if you have any questions, feel free. I appreciate everyone coming through, and we will see you on the next side. And again, thank you again, Creative, for coming up and giving us that lovely information that everyone can appreciate.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for promoting my channel.
Not a problem. Feel free. And if you're free next week, next Sunday, just let us know.
Okay.
Okay.